The girl was at home without wearing pants, unknowingly attracting the attention of two strangers. Outside the door, a man with a hunting rifle was staring at her. Just as the girl was about to question him, another chubby man approached. Terrified, the girl called out to her boyfriend, but he warmly opened the door. He told the girl that these two men were his good buddies. The boyfriend understood his friend's intentions and used an excuse to leave. At that moment, the girl had just finished taking a shower when the bearded man barged into the room. The girl wanted to escape, but the bearded man pinned her against the wall. Then, the bearded man started to get handsy. The girl tried to threaten him with her boyfriend, but the bearded man didn't care. Just then, the chubby man pushed open the door and stared blankly at the two of them. The girl's pleas for help didn't escape the chubby man's notice. Munching on snacks, the chubby man turned around and closed the door. He listened to the cries coming from the room, then turned the TV volume up to the maximum. He went outside, and the girl pounded on the glass for help, but he plunged into the swimming pool. An hour later, the boyfriend returned. The two of them casually watched TV as if nothing had happened, while cries echoed from the room. Then they entered the room and began to comfort the girl. In a fit of anger, the girl decided to call the police. At this point, the boyfriend lost his patience and slapped her across the face. When the girl regained consciousness, the boyfriend tried to comfort her once again. He used his wealthy status and promised to compensate her with money. The girl became furious. It was then she realized that everything was orchestrated by her boyfriend. In his eyes, his friends were more important than his girlfriend. The girl was merely a tool. As the boyfriend turned away, the girl made a dash for escape. The two men in the living room chased after them. The girl ran ahead, while the three men pursued her from behind. Running barefoot, her will to survive made her forget about the pain. But soon, she realized there was no way forward. She had to come to a stop. Staring in horror at the hundreds of meters high cliff, the men caught up with her. Seemingly realizing the gravity of the situation, the boyfriend started to apologize and called for a helicopter. They agreed to meet in half an hour to take the girl away. With the situation seemingly resolved, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The girl slowly nodded her head, and as the boyfriend turned around, the girl fell into the bottom of the valley, her body impaled by tree branches. The three men looked down, believing there was no possibility of her survival. The men's actions frightened the bearded man. After leaving, the men set fire to the girl's clothes. Armed and prepared, they began their planned hunt. Drops of blood fell. Soon, it attracted numerous ants crawling all over the girl's body. But at that moment, to everyone's surprise, the girl woke up. She looked around in confusion. After a while, she remembered everything. The girl finally landed on the ground, but the moment she landed, she heard that the three men had returned. Enduring excruciating pain, the girl moved her body. She leaned against the wall and stood up. As the men looked down and saw her empty-handed, they were stunned. They believed that falling from such a height and being impaled, the girl must have died. Yet, everything before their eyes indicated that the girl was truly alive. The bearded man became afraid and wanted to call the police to turn himself in. The man who had pushed the girl down instantly flew into a rage. They still had weapons, so how could they fear an injured girl? As they descended the mountain, it was already dark. The men looked at the bloodstains on the wall, then glanced at the bloodstains on the ground. The girl was trapped and they followed the trail of blood. They reached a riverbank where they lost sight of the girl. The men split up, with the bearded man staying in place. Meanwhile, the girl was in the water, and the bearded man carefully surveyed the river surface from his car. Just as he left, the girl emerged from the water. She struggled to climb onto the shore. As she was about to get up, she noticed the chubby man in the distance. Seeing the hunting rifle next to the car, the girl's gaze became resolute. She cautiously approached. Not making a sound, the chubby man sensed something, but it was too late when he turned around. The girl aimed the rifle at him. The chubby man tried to persuade her to calm down and not do anything rash. The chubby man pushed the girl to the ground and delivered a powerful punch. Helpless, the The girl lay there motionless. When the men realized they had found the girl, they couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. The chubby man prepared to take care of the girl himself. The chubby man fell into the river, completely lifeless. The girl pulled out a knife, and the chubby man sank to the bottom of the water. Riding on the chubby man's motorcycle, the girl sped through the darkness. She didn't stop until the fuel ran out. In the cave, the girl builds a fire. She emptied her backpack and searched for usable items. She opened a beer and drank it all in one gulp, but the beer she had just consumed unexpectedly flowed out from her abdomen. Looking at the wound, the girl suddenly remembered the medicine her boyfriend had given her. She opened her necklace and took out a plastic packet. She put it in her mouth and chewed, but it was too bitter, and she spat it out. However, in order to survive, the girl grabbed the medicine from the ground and began to chew on it. The medicine quickly took effect, and her gaze became determined. The pain relief from the medicine was miraculous. She wouldn't feel any pain even if she sawed off her own legs. She caressed her thighs and used a knife to split open a soda can. Although she didn't feel any pain, she still passed out. The man stretched lazily and then began to urinate. Just as he was enjoying himself, a spider ran over. Using his urine, the man smashed the spider to death. Instant karma arrived swiftly as he washed his face. A corpse floated up. It was their teammate. Seeing his brother in the water, the man became furious. His eyes filled with resentment. Facing the incessant chatter of the bearded man, the scumbag turned around and delivered a punch, shattering his nose. On the other side, the avenging goddess suddenly awakened. Her original wounds were now covered with burns. The eagle on the beer bottle indicated the return of the avenging goddess. She equipped herself with all her gear and cautiously walked out of the cave. Just as she was lost in thought, a distant flash caught her attention. It was the bearded man. Inspecting his wound, the girl held the hunting rifle and finally caught up to the car. As she watched the bearded man refueling, the girl approached slowly. Taking aim, she prepared to shoot, but the distance was too far, and she only hit his shoulder. When she got up, she realized that the man had disappeared. She cautiously searched and arrived beside the car, but she didn't find any trace of the man. Following the bloodstains on the ground, the girl tracked along. However, while chasing, she lost the trail. Only a shoe remained, placed in the middle of the road. Just as the girl carefully looked around, the bearded man appeared. He loaded a bullet into the chamber behind the girl, but the pain in his shoulder prevented him from aiming. The girl shattered the glass and set up a trap. When the bearded man ran barefoot, he was directly pierced through the sole of his foot. The bearded man didn't want to chase anymore. He just wanted to leave as soon as possible. But when he returned to the car, intending to drive away, the girl suddenly appeared and shot him in the head. With the bearded man taken care of, the next target was her boyfriend. Listening to the voice on the walkie-talkie, the girl's eyes were filled with ferocity. The scumbag was already afraid at this point. He returned to the villa, ready to pack his things and escape. However, just as he finished making the call to the helicopter, the girl blocked his way.